All right, guys, we are live. What's going on? How y'all doing today? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm coming at you live for one of the final 3 editions of this retro review series of my NXT takeovers. As we're on now, NXT Takeover Orlando 2017. Of course, took place on April 1st, 2017, at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. This was kind of a special takeover NXT because, with any takeovers that take place in Florida took place, at Full Sail. Well, this one, of course, is like, a bigger crowd and, where NXT is basically home at. So it was kind of acknowledged the introduction by Triple H, off the camera and whatnot. So we're allowed to talk about the show. And overall, watching again, this is still one of the weaker takeovers of all time, I gotta say. It was still a good show, don't get me wrong. Could have been a little bit better. I'm starting to debate, though, maybe I liked San Antonio a little bit more than Orlando. Although Orlando had some pretty good storytelling moments. The matches were good. Well, there was one match of the year. My tag team match of the year for 2017 happened at this show. And your matches were still good, but they could have been better. Just that main event felt like it could have been a little bit better. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe this one was a little bit weaker than San Antonio. I'm kind of torn now which one I thought was, they're both good shows, but which one I thought was, weaker. Again, I still say TakeOver Chicago, the next one, was when I thought NXT really got back up to, the level they were at before the whole rebuilding stage. But some great storytelling moments here for sure in this on this show. And it was definitely, I believe, 3 people's swan songs, although one of them did technically have one more match, which was a steel cage match against Eric Young like a week or 2 later on NXT. But it was basically this right before this guy was called up as well. But, of course, we'll talk about that in a moment. Check the live chat. Tyler said, to left, this is before the worst Mania ever. I still say 33 was not the worst ever. I still say I enjoyed 33 more than 32. I can agree, though, maybe after going back and watching it again, a lot of stuff that happened at WrestleMania 33 didn't have a good, fallout afterwards. At the time watching it, I thought it was an all right show. But after watching it, I can kind of say, yeah, some of that stuff seemed a little pointless on that show. It was still not that bad. I still say 32's down there is one of the worst. 29. 27, 9, and 11, I'd say are probably the ones I'd say are the worst WrestleManias. But that's your opinion. That's completely fine, Tyler. Yeah, so we'll do Orlando now. After, of course, I watch the UK and NXT, I will watch TakeOver Chicago, and then, of course, do that. And hopefully tomorrow wrap this up with TakeOver Brooklyn 3, which is, again, the last takeover that I have not reviewed on this channel. But again, at least I've gone back and been able to watch all the takeovers that I haven't seen and review all the ones that I haven't reviewed on this channel yet. So we'll be up to date on all 26 of the NXT pay-per-views. Again, technically there's only 25 takeovers, but the 26th one is NXT Arrival. I did that one also as well. So let's talk about this show, guys. Let's start off with now originally the opening match was supposed to be Sanity taking on Sanity, all 4 members. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Nikki Cross, taking on the team of Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, No Way Jose, and Ruby Riott with 1 T. Remember, Ruby Riott in NXT had 1 T. On the main roster, she had 2 T's. Don't know why, still to this day. And of course, before the Pointless Riot Squad was created. Basically, it's a carbon copy of Absolution. But anyways, originally supposed to be those 4. But then at a WrestleMania Access match, it was shown that No Way Jose was attacked and taken out. So replacing No Way Jose was the recent NXT returnee, Cassius Ohno. So he replaced Jose. And I thought this was a fun match. I mean, this is, of course, continuing on with the feud with Ty Dillinger and Eric Young, which I still say was basically, kind of like a repeat in some ways of Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt late 2013, early 2014, which was a good feud. And I think this match, was basically, finally, Sanity getting the numbers game, evened up with them, basically. Ty Dillinger have been dealing with, Sanity, 4-on-1, even with Nikki Cross, which was why, they had Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, which, can I just say, underrated feud. Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. They should have had some type of like, I don't know, some type of like, no holds barred or, hardcore or street fight match should have happened. They did kind of course, get started into the women's title picture for, the summer for TakeOver Chicago 3 and whatnot. But I thought they had a really underrated feud, both Nikki and Ruby, both like, were very similar. Of course, now they're on the main roster now. Well, Ruby's out now with a double shoulder injury or something like that for God knows how long when. But definitely underrated feud there, but definitely well played here. I thought this was, a fun match. Told a good story there. Had, of course, at the time, the hottest acts for the face group was definitely Ty Dillinger and Roderick Strong, who was gaining momentum for sure this time. Cassius Ohno just came back, of course, as well. And Ruby Riott was still a new face. People were getting to know as well. But I thought they worked well with Sandy here, putting them over well as well here. There was like, the bodies were everywhere, those moments in the match as well. Unfortunately, though, it didn't work out as eventually Killian Dane would get the winning pinfall for Sanity when he pinned, of course, Ty Dillinger. Which, again, this actually was Ty Dillinger's final TakeOver match. He had one more match after this on NXT. He was called SmackDown after this. And, of course, a year and a half later, he was released after he requested it. But now he's getting ready to start in AEW full-time as Shawn Spears. But he was called up to the main roster. But he did have one more match. It was like 2 weeks later against Eric Young inside a steel cage to finish out the feud and basically give Young and Sandy his comeuppance, which he succeeded with. But still, fun opener, I thought. Fun, 8-man mixed tag team match. Definitely gave, some newer faces or, gave Ty Dillinger a moment, gave Sandy a rub, but also, gave a rub to, Roderick Strong and Cassius Ohno and Ruby Riott as well with just one T, remember, keep in mind. And I thought, it's a good match. Good opener match. Good opening match, I thought, for sure, for TakeOver Orlando. The next match, oh boy. Debut. And literally, I knew nothing about this man, but the moment he rose in that entrance going like, bam, you got me. Let's see what you got, my friend. And boy, did he. Well, let's talk about this match. Andrade Cien Almas taking on Aleister Black in Aleister Black's NXT debut. Of course, Aleister Black had previously been, on the indies or wrestling wherever he was wrestling. I forgot where he wrestled before as Tommy End. Of course, he was introduced at the UK tournament as Tommy End, basically, but he wasn't introduced as Aleister Black, so it was just Tommy End. But man, that entrance again just immediately made me just want to see this man as champion. Here's the thing though about this match. It was during a time where obviously, as I said before, of course, in the last TakeOver, even though it was still a great match, with Roderick Strong, it was during a time where Andrade Cien Almas again just kind of felt like just a guy who was there to eat pins. And he was putting on good matches, but he wasn't really getting anywhere. And again, it was a time where I thought, okay, maybe they'll bring him up as like a big card. U.S. Intercontinental Champion or something like that. I was really starting to not really see much light around this time for Andrade Cien Almas. Aleister Black, though, this is only like a 9.5-minute match. It was good. Again, it made me a fan of Black for sure, instantly. But especially what Aleister Black would become, especially the act he put on. I kind of wish they would have given him like a Sami Zayn Shinsuke Nakamura type match. Basically, not I'm saying making Aleister Black like a god, but obviously, give him that like kind of almost immediate rocket ship push like they did with Shinsuke Nakamura. I would say he would have been pushed as high as Nakamura at the beginning, but at least made it a little bit higher because after this, he didn't have a feud until TakeOver Brooklyn 3 when he fought Hideo Itami in a nice hard-hitting match there in Brooklyn 3. But I feel like this is kind of like not a squash, but I felt like just like a little bit of like a toned down first impression match. It was good. They had some good moments, some hard-hitting moments, good counters and whatnot. Black with the black mask. But first off, you could not tell me in exactly a year that those two are going to go out there again and have an NXT championship match. And, a match that, this match is so good, but have like a fantastic match that, of course, they would have the following year, of course, when Andrade was NXT champion. I just felt that they probably could have, made Black feel like a more bigger deal. I mean, they made it like he was a big deal, and it definitely, as a match enough for me at least get behind him. But of course, seeing, the biggest star he would turn out to be, I kind of hope maybe he would have gotten like a little bit more of a stronger, performance in this match. I thought. And again, it was a tough game because at the time, again, it was when Almas was still kind of lingering around as a heel. But again, of course, when we get to TakeOver Brooklyn 3. That's where, of course, Andrade's thing really started to take off and really, get the eyes that, he's been looking for a while. But still, a great match. I mean, again, it was just, just an awkward time with, Andrade and not kind of really have much of a direction. And, again, Aleister Black, I felt could have just got a little bit more of a bigger performance that he got. But still, a great match. Check the live chat really quick here. Tyler says Brock is 32 is better than 33. He feels Brock's going to cash in on Kofi at stupid grounds. Yuck. AJ WWE champion before 35 to Ray Ray. I guess if AJ turned heel on November 13th, 2018 SmackDown on Bryan, if he booked it, that's what he would have done. Okay. Thank you for stopping the live chat. Next up, though, this was my tag team match of the year in 2017. The NXT Tag Team Champions, Authors of Pain, versus The Revival, versus DIY in a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. First off, perhaps mention at the beginning, this takeover also was a takeover where NXT got new titles. They got new tag titles, a new women's title, and a new men's title. And I remember at first not being a fan of the women's title. I don't know why. I wasn't a big fan of it at first, but I'm fine with it now. But first, I would like the new design for the women's title. I guess it seemed too similar to the men's, I felt, or I thought it was too white. I remember I wasn't a big fan of the women's title at first. Well, this tag team match. Some people can argue a mistake they made was eliminating DIY first, which, okay, I kind of get it. Also, this was the show I thought the turn was going to happen. I really thought it was going to happen, and I thought it was going to be in some way of Tommaso Ciampa, basically like feeding Johnny Gargano to one of the other members, something like that. But of course, the way they did at TakeOver Chicago was much better. Even more better than my idea because there are geniuses backstage. Well, most of them at least, and I'm not. But anyways, what I said about Authors of Pain at TakeOver San Antonio, they were booked as credible, amazing monsters, looking like they were going all out. But they still made their opponents look just magnificent and like big, men who were tough as nails as well. And of course, I definitely have respect for that. But this match, the story playing here with, obviously, DIY and Revival had their history, but they were teaming up trying to take out the Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain were literally picking them up and just like running them like, roughshod through everyone, like slamming them into other people, like, slamming Gargano and Ciampa into each other, slamming, Revival into each other, slamming, Gargano into Dawson, and, so on. Just a physical, brutal, near-fall match that had some believable-looking finishes that felt that this could have been anyone's match. I remember watching this match the first time. It's one of those matches that I was on my feet the whole time. I couldn't sit down because of the chaos happening. The double teaming, trying to take out Authors of Pain, through tables like they did, whatnot. To my favorite part of the match is when, they did a chop block, I think it was on Akam. And then I think Dawson was trying to hit the get him to tap out to a knee bar, but that was working out. Johnny Gargano, while Akam was in the knee bar, put Akam into like the Gargano skateboard, so like a modified crossface looking like, and there was like a double submission trying to get Akam to tap out. But then Razor came in, and Ciampa and Wilder was trying to stop him, but of course he knocked him into. That's what broke up the submission, but. I'd say at least while these three were still in the ring, it was still an incredible looking match. I mean, it was just the storytelling there again, literally making Authors of Pain look like legitimate monsters, but DIY and Revival looked amazing, of course, in that sequence as well, especially when they worked together trying to take out Authors of Pain. Because the difference between that and main roster, some has to look good, one has to look weak. That's what it is. No, this match at least made all three teams come out looking looking amazing. And yes, DIY was the first team eliminated, which I know a lot of people say shouldn't have happened. But my thing was, well, Odds of Pain did prove they can beat DIY already. Now they can prove they can beat the Revival. That was my thing. Of course, when it came down to the Odds of Pain Revival, it wasn't quite as good, but it was still great. Just an amazing tag team match. Definitely, it was physical, the double teams, and then everyone came out, I thought, looking strong. The Odds of Pain would retain, though, after they pinned the Revival, which this would be the Revival's final match in NXT before going to the main roster. And 2 injuries later, and Usi Hot, and back shaving, and all that crap later, they're 2-time Raw Tag Team Champions. Through a very painful 2 years it's been, though, for these guys. But yep, that is that match again. That is definitely my tag team match of the year in 2017. If I booked AJ turn heel, beat Roman at Survivor Series, beat Bryan TLC and Joe at Rumble, won the Chamber, keep it to Fastlane, and drop it to Rey at WrestleMania 35. That could be possible. And then I believe it was in between these matches where they did show Drew McIntyre in the crowds. McIntyre would make his NXT return, being in NXT very briefly just till TakeOver War Games. But of course, he probably would have been a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, but he did suffer that tricep injury that kept him out until the Superstar Shakeup when he appeared on Raw. And, they started that alliance with him and Dolph Ziggler, which was a fun run, definitely, with McIntyre and Ziggler. But now, unfortunately, he's not really getting much. And he's starting to be one of those guys that's just all talk and does nothing in the ring to back it up for it. So, but we saw McIntyre obviously announced he returned to NXT. Next up is the first of two amazing women's matches. He said, well, I wouldn't say this one's amazing. It was more so like, it was good, but it was definitely an angle set for something bigger. Asuka taking on Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship. When when Ember Moon first debuted at TakeOver Brooklyn 2, I'm like, this is gonna be the woman who's gonna give Asuka her toughest fight. And I kept saying Ember Moon was gonna be the one to end Asuka's undefeated streak. Now, this match happened, and obviously I told that story here, showing that this probably was Asuka's toughest competition she's had since she's wrestled the likes of Bayley, Nia Jax. She wrestled who did she wrestle in the fall? Oh, Mickie James. She had a fatal 4-way with Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce. She's wrestled with Morgan. She's wrestled Aaliyah. She's beaten everyone. And this was around the time where Asuka was getting a little bit cocky. I wouldn't say they ever fully turn Asuka heel, but they especially after she started doing that whole nobody is ready for Asuka stuff when when the women's division went through a rebuilding stage. Asuka became a little bit more cockier, I felt, and it told that story of I always say someone who's a person to beat continues to beat people even though it make them look strong for the most part, but after a while you will have that one person who we all know poses a threat to you. And then that's when you have to, kind of like revert to, the heel tactics a little bit. And that's what happened here. Ember Moon was setting up with the Eclipse. Asuka pushed the referee into the ropes, which knocked Ember down. And that was set for Asuka to, take out Ember with a couple kicks and whatnot, and for Asuka to retain her women's championship. So obviously, for the first time, Asuka found her championship herself, in a bad position, and felt that her championship victory run in jeopardy. And she beat Ember Moon, giving us that the thought of obviously that Ember Moon had again came up during a time where obviously again there was not really a whole lot of women's talent. Not saying everybody was really worthwhile in the women's division, but talent that was hard to make her look as strong as the 4 Horsewomen did. So obviously, this was the match that kind of was working for. Kind of made her just a little bit stronger, I gotta say, before building up to the second match they would have, which I thought was going to take over Chicago. It's not going to be. I'll be down in a few minutes. I'm live. Sorry about that. Anyways, what was I going to say? What's my thought? But it was kind of give Ember that little edge, a little push really quick to get her, up a little bit higher up the totem pole to make her stronger. Going to the match, they had TakeOver Brooklyn 3, which was my women's match of the year in 2017. So we got that. And then finally, the main event, Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura for a rematch for the NXT Championship. I liked their first match a little bit better than I thought I did the first time when I watched San Antonio. Of course, this show I liked Roode's entrance a little bit more with the pianos and whatnot. I liked, but this match was all right. I mean, the last match told a little bit more of a story, with the knee injury and just the crowd being into it. I think they were, and the crowd was into it as well. But last match, I felt had a good flow to go as long as it did. This match, I feel, didn't quite. They kind of already had Roode going back immediately to the recently injured knee of Nakamura, and of course Nakamura wasn't as consistent with selling knee injury. Like this match, obviously did expose, and a couple of matches exposed that Nakamura has not always been the best with selling at times. I mean, he still put on good to great matches in NXT. Really, just that one classic he had again was with Sami Zayn, his first night out there. But obviously, showing that Nakamura isn't the best at coming with selling, and kind of showing too that these two just didn't quite have the best chemistry with each other. Still a good match. Bobby Roode retained, but kind of like a pretty obvious match that Bobby Roode was retaining. I felt, and this is probably gonna be Nakamura's swan song. So it was good, but not the greatest main event. So of course, I still say one of the weaker main event was still a TakeOver Brooklyn 3, but that was still an amazing show. But we'll get to that short. And guys, that is it for my live view of NXT TakeOver Orlando. AJ and Charlotte won a mixed match challenge. Say a lot. He thought that 29 is better than 33. Kind of disagree, but it's what you think. That was my parents calling me for dinner. He wants Triple H in charge, and we all know we hate the wildcard rule as well. So again, that's it for my live view of NXT TakeOver Orlando. I give it a B+. Again, I was giving it a B, but I gave it a B+ because I still not sure which one I enjoy more, San Antonio or Orlando. But next one up is a show that I still claim got NXT back to, on the higher level it was. Like, out of that rebuilding stage and, like, it's back to, being as powerful as it was before the return of the brand split. So, guys, I'll see you guys next time for TakeOver Chicago 2017. What are your thoughts on TakeOver Orlando? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And there's always a slap a like on my videos. Subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter @DemanderEverybody3, and I'll see you guys later on for my NXT UK, NXT reviews, and the next retro review, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2017. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.